Are you a lucky person? Are you often favored in random chance? Or maybe you get the short end of the stick more often than not? Or maybe you don't believe in luck. Everything you accomplish is from skill. Say, for example, you flip a coin. You know that it has landed heads 4 times in a row, so it must land on tails now, right? Chances are you know that isn't how it works. The coin does not care about past events, and it does not care what your gut feeling is. It will land on either heads or tails, completely by random chance. What about if you buy a lottery ticket, and you use all of your lucky numbers to enter, and then you win? Is it because of those lucky numbers that you won? Did you control your winning fate? Well, yes and no. Sure, you wouldn't have won if you didn't use those numbers, but what if your lucky numbers were different? You wouldn't have won then. The lottery doesn't care what your lucky numbers are. They choose the winner completely at random. This effect is called the illusion of control. It is the bias that we have more control over events than we really do. Casinos are a great place to go if you want to see the illusion of control in action. There are tons of players around thinking that they have an effect on the outcome of their risks. Games like poker and blackjack actually do have an element of skill to them, being able to assess your odds of getting a winning hand and playing accordingly, but there is still luck involved. Games like roulette, on the other hand, the game where a ball is spun around a special wheel and it lands on either red or black, is pure luck. But you'll still be able to find players trying to assess the past rolls to determine where the ball will land this time, or using their lucky color every time, thinking that it has a higher chance because it's lucky. This illusion of control is a big part of why people are willing to gamble, because they feel as though they have control over the situation and that they have a higher chance of success. So, knowing this, why do people gamble? If you are someone who understands the illusion of control and understands that it is up to chance, why would you risk it? Well, the simple answer is because it's fun. Taking risks is fun. The feeling of the payoff, especially given a low probability of success, is a feeling that people seek out. It makes us feel good when we win, and we know that if we lose, we can try again. And this feeling is exactly what casinos use to make money. Casinos are a private business, meaning they can do pretty much anything they want. You may have heard that it is illegal to count cards, and that it's cheating. But it's not. All counting cards is calculating the probability of any card appearing next in the deck based on the cards that have already been removed from the deck. This is the way that someone would actually be good at games like poker. But the casinos are smart, and they know that counting cards will put the game in your favor, and so if they think you're counting cards, they may kick you out. And you may think that this makes casinos and gambling more risky, and you're right. You might also think that this would deter people from continuing to gamble after a few failures, and again, you're right. So, why are casinos still in business? Aside from the simple reason that taking risks is fun for some, casinos also use a trick to keep their customers: the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is a phenomenon where one feels that they must continue to pursue something because they have put money, time, or effort into that thing. If you buy a game, you may feel like you have to play it because you spent money on it, even if you don't enjoy it. Maybe you have spent a lot of time doing something. Say you've played a sport for years. you may feel like you have to continue playing even if it doesn't interest you anymore. This same thing happens when you're gambling. If you pay into a hand of blackjack and you lose, now you have lost money. You have sunk a cost into this activity, and so you will likely feel like you have to continue until you get your money's worth out of the activity. The only problem with gambling is that you almost never get your money's worth. In the example of buying a game, you never have to spend any more money on it, and to feel like you have gotten your money's worth out of it, it only requires time. But with gambling, the only way to get more time in the activity you have spent money on is to spend more money on it. And now that you've spent more money on it, you will have to spend more time on it. And now that you're spending more time on it, I think you get the point. And now you're trapped in a loop of money loss. Basically, what all of this means is that the only way to win in a casino is to have the willpower to overcome these biases and issues, and if you can't, you will lose. And even if you can, it is still a gamble on whether you will win or not. So really, what I'm saying is, gambling, and especially casinos, is dangerous. But if you can control yourself, and it is something you enjoy, go for it. As long as you accept that you will lose money.